Hi guys, assalamu alaikum, welcome back to my channel. Different background today. I've been chucked out from downstairs because Yahya has got his own little thing going on, so I've had to come in the spare room upstairs, so that's fun in itself. Anyway, so today's video is how to enjoy birth. I, alhamdulillah, had a really good experience and I actually really enjoyed it. So I just thought I'd put this video together because inshallah when I have my next baby, I want to be able to look back and remember what I did, because it's been like 14 months, over a year now, and I feel like I'm forgetting, so I'm like, I need to just do something. Anyway, I have written it down, but I thought I'd share it as well. So I'm not a specialist, I'm not a midwife, I'm not a nurse, a doctor, whatever. I'm just a mum who's given birth naturally and who didn't have any tearing or like, I didn't have any drugs or anything like that. So alhamdulillah, I feel like I had the perfect birth and it was extremely fun. And so many people go through difficult births and that is absolutely fine. But what I put my mental state at was, mentally I wanted to prepare myself for every scenario. So whether that be the worst case scenario, like please protect everyone, but so many people have stillbirths, like that was my biggest fear with birth. And like the best case scenario of a natural birth and hypnobirthing was, you know, I was able to do hypnobirthing fine and blah 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 blah. Clearly, alhamdulillah, I was blessed, but there are so many situations that can happen and that's what I wanted to prepare for. If you are pregnant or if you are just about to give birth, congratulations, and it is not too late to take on these tips. So these are my top 10 tips for giving birth. Tip number 1 is PMA. Your positive mental attitude is so important. That like trumps all. Make sure that you are in a positive state of mind about birth itself. You hear so many negative stories, you don't really hear the positives. It's like when it's like when you have a friend or whoever is a person who is an amazing person, like they're so good, but they've just done one thing wrong, and it's like that's what everybody focuses on. You don't want to do that. Don't focus on that one little negative thing. Focus on like the thousands of positive things that come out of it. Like you're going to get a brand new baby, you're going to have your own child, you're going to become a mother. In time you'll become a mother-in-law, an auntie, whatever. Not an auntie. You'll become a grandmother. So many like blessings that you'll get just from this short period of surges and well, we call them surges in hypnobirthing. So that short period of time while you're giving birth, you're just gonna get this amazing little baby and a bundle of joy at the end, and it's a lifetime of happiness. So just be extremely happy about it and be in a positive state. If anybody's telling you a negative story, just be like, girl, talk to the hand, I don't want to know. Don't listen to them. You don't need to listen to negative stories. You just need to be in a positive state of mind and think about the happy times. You're gonna like have this like little bundle of joy that you're gonna bring home. What really helped me was thinking about, I know it's probably the negatives, but I was thinking about, you know, there's 1 in 7 people that struggle conceiving. There are so many people around the world that can't have babies. There are so many people who have miscarriages. I myself had a few. So when I was going through labour, I actually wrote down some cue cards. This is probably a good tip. I wrote some like mini cue cards down. I clipped them together and I wrote like little notes on them, because when you are in birth, when you are in labour, you don't remember. You just focus, so you don't really think basically. So I wrote these little cue cards down with like little reminders for myself, and that really helped. It just helped me like think, you know what, God has a plan for everything. This is a blessing in itself. Like every moment of giving birth was a blessing for me. I was so happy and so thankful. For women, you're like in a state of jihad. It's just like what more can you want, basically. Tip number 2, listen to your body. Like, you know your body the best. Nobody else will know your body as well as you know your body. Listen to your body. If your body is telling you to push, then it's probably time. However, midwives have been doing this for yonkies years. not for donkey's years. They know what they're doing. They know, you know, the right things to do. They've seen these scenarios thousands of times. You can, you know, ask them as well, like, lean on them. If you know that you've got a good midwife, lean on them and just be like, right, my body's telling me to push. Is the right time for me to push? She will tell you, you know, darling, hold on, you're only 3 centimeters dilated. You need to just wait it out a little bit longer. Then you know that this is what you need to do to be able to give birth in a, like, easier manner. So just hold off, because that's what happened to me. Like, I was ready to push at, you know, 3 centimeters. So it was like one of those things where it was like, I know that this isn't the right thing to do. I need to, like, then tell my body that. Tip number 3, make sure you know your rights. There are so many rights that you have when you're giving birth. Whether that be in a labour ward or in a birth centre, it is so important to know them and to make the correct decisions. I always put them in my birth plan. Make sure that your husband is aware of them as well. So in a scenario where anything, God forbid, happens, you both know what to do. Like, the smallest thing down to, like, how you want your placenta delivered, to how and when and if you want an epidural, or, you know, if God forbid anything does seriously happen, whose life takes precedence. So in Islam, it's the mother's right takes precedent. These kind of things that you need to be able to articulate and put down on paper. That brings me on to my next tip, which is make sure you have a birth plan. Like, all those things, put them in a birth plan. So important. When you're in labour, you don't think properly, your husband's probably not thinking properly, or your partner. You need to just be able to make sure that you have everything on paper. The midwife knows. Make sure you take a spare copy. The midwife will change. If they haven't handed it over, you've got a spare copy to give them so they can read them. So it's not that the midwife won't have time to read them. You'll be in labour for, you know, not 20 minutes, an hour, like hours, and it will take them 10 minutes to read it. So the more times they read it, the better it is. So just make sure you are as detailed as possible. I did mine in stages. So if this happened, what to do? If that happened, what to do? Don't have your birth plan as in, like, this ideal scenario. This is what I want to happen. I want this, like, perfect natural birth, and this is what's going to happen throughout the birth, and it's like tunnel vision. This is my labour, this is my labour, this is my labour. You need to be able to, like, explore all the avenues, because nothing goes to plan, and you need to be able to plan for every single scenario, whatever happens. I know it takes forever, but you're giving birth, and if you want to be able to make sure that you have control of that situation, then put that in your birth plan. That is one of the things, when you are in birth, you don't have control. You do not have control of what is going on, and you need to be able to retain and regain that control by your breathing exercises, by your birth plan. Like, all these things help you feel like you are in control, basically. And that's what, like, really helped me. I'm a control freak, so I was like, I need to know in every scenario what's going to happen. And my main motto in life is fail to plan, plan to fail. So just get it all down on paper. I'm telling you guys, get it on paper. Know it inside and out as well. Like, you need to be confident in the decisions that you've made. Your partner needs to be confident in them. Make sure your mum knows, your sister, whoever it is, make sure they read it, because God knows what can happen. Tip number 5 is create a positive environment, whether that be just before giving birth or while you're giving birth. You need to make sure that you have created that atmosphere for yourself so that you're comfortable. You need to try and get your oxytocin levels up. So that is the love hormone, and that's kind of like one of those things that it's present when you're breastfeeding, it's present when you give birth. It's that emotional connection, that emotional bond. It's present with your partner. You need to make sure that that is as high as it can be, and whether that be through things, it's basically through things that you like. So if you like the type of music you like, jazz, hip-hop, R&B, like Islamic music, Quranic recitation, calming music, meditation music, whatever it is, make sure you have it on. So for me, it was the meditation music, and that was mainly because of hypno birthing. So just having that meditation music on, like candles, dim lighting, it was really, really important. And when you're in the birth centre or wherever you are giving birth, the midwife or whoever walks in the room will know the environment that it is, so they will adapt themselves to it. So every time a midwife walked in, she wasn't like, oh hi Mariam, how are you, blah 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 blah. She was like, right, so we're going to, you know what I mean? She was like talking really nice and slowly, and I was like, this is perfect, because I don't want somebody shouting in my ear or telling me what to do all the time. They're like very, very calm, and they adapted to the situation, so that was perfect and ideal for me. Tip number 6, please do not get checked so often. Like, every time you get checked, your oxytocin levels will go down. You'll be like, it's so invasive. It will just be like so methodical. You just need to be like, you know what, I know when I'm going to be ready, and I will tell you when I think you might need to check me, because I might be pushing, or I might want to, you know, give birth now. So just make sure you don't get checked so often. If you don't need to, you're like, what's the point? And that's one of your rights as well. Like, if the nurse is like, if the midwife is like, oh, we need to check you, you can say, I'm not ready to be checked yet, I don't want to be checked yet, let's leave it for a few more hours. Like, that's entirely up to you how many times you want to get checked. Obviously, if they feel like something's wrong, or if there's something wrong with the baby or whatever it is, then of course they have to check you. But if it's just like one of those things like, oh, let's just check how far you're dilated, you can say no. I've heard of so many situations where there's been like a woman who's been 6-7 centimeters dilated, she's got checked and she's gone down to like 2. So there is proven facts that these things do happen. So just make sure you research into it and find out whether or not it is something that you want to say, actually, I'm not okay being checked at the moment. Tip number 7, know what you're doing. Like, don't just be like, oh, I'm giving birth, I know that, you know, baby comes out and this is what happens, blah, blah, blah. Know every single stage. Know stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, what happens, how long they are. I'll put a link down below just to give you a little bit more detail, but just know how long each stage is. Know how long it's going to be. Is it going to be like, oh my god, this is the longest thing in the world? You'll know what the midwives are talking about, because they will talk in stages. For me, one of the main things was knowing that I had to do like a little dance with my baby, which was really, really sweet, because as the baby comes out, it's moving around, it's turning, it's trying to get his head through. You need to make sure that you are moving around as well, enabling the baby to like move down with you. So the worst position to be is lying on your back flat. You don't want to be doing that. You want to be moving around. Yeah, you just want to be like, you know, active. You don't want to be staying in one position and like letting baby do all the work. Like, you've got to like help baby come out as well. Tip number 8, visit the hospital if you can. So the labour ward or the birth centre. I'm not sure if you can visit the labour ward, but just being able to see around the hospital for me was a big thing, because I was like, oh, where am I going to put my candles? Where am I going to put my speaker, my luggage, or whatever it is? Where are we going to sleep? I just had to know where everything was. Tip number 9, make sure you pack like at least a few weeks before you go into labour, or when you know that, you know, your due date is approaching. I have got a what to pack in your hospital I have got a what to pack in your hospital bag video, so do go and check that out if you haven't done so already. And that gives you like a breakdown of everything that you need to take with you. And tip number 10 is like, don't scream. Like, you're wasting energy. You're wasting so much energy, you don't need to scream. Try hypno birthing. If you're like, I tried hypno birthing at 38 weeks, I learned it. So loads of people start it way before, which is what you're supposed to do. But don't get too scared if you're like so close to your due date and you're like, I want to do hypno birthing but I can't. I literally had a DVD, I had the book, I read the book and the DVD, and that was enough for me. Like, you just need to be able to know what it is about, basically. Next time, inshallah, when I do get pregnant again, I will definitely do the course for it and do it properly, because I definitely think that really, really helped me hypnobirthing, and it just let me channel all my thoughts into, for me, it was channel all my thoughts into God and just being appreciative of the situation. But you don't need to scream. You can put your chin on your chest, and when you're pushing, that's what you can do. It just pushes all that energy through your body instead of out of your mouth. So that's about it. So those are my top 10 tips that I think helped me, and inshallah they'll help you as well if you are having a baby. Congratulations. Anyway, if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe, like and comment on my videos, and inshallah I will see you guys very soon. Take care, bye.